Hi there, Jesse with eTrailer. Today we'll be taking a look at and I'll show you how to install the eTrailer Class III Hitch on our 2025 Kia Carnival. The Kia Carnival is definitely a nice car that a lot of people are buying nowadays, and it's a people hauler. So it would be nice to have a little extra storage room whenever this is full of people, and this hitch is going to give you the ability to do that, whether it be through a cargo carrier or a bike rack or even some light duty towing. Now for a closer look at our hitch here, you see the cross beams are exposed, but pretty difficult to see when you're standing up behind the vehicle. And I really like the matte black finish that we have here. So we have a standard 2" by 2" receiver with a standard 5/8" pinhole behind that. For our safety cable loops, they're on the bulky side for sure, but they're still pretty simple to hook up to, whether you have a Clevis style or even an S like this. Now for the weight capacities on the hitch, we have a gross trailer weight of 4,000 pounds. That's the amount of weight that you can pull behind the vehicle. And a maximum tongue weight of 600 pounds. That's the amount of weight pushing down on the rear of the vehicle. Just be sure to check your Kia's owner's manual and ensure your Carnival can handle that weight safely. Now for some measurements, from the ground to the top of the inside of the collar, looks to be about 12.5 inches. Kind of on the low side for a car like this, so any accessory you add on, most likely look for a slight rise. From the center of the pinhole to the edge of the bumper is about 4 inches. Just keep that in mind for any folding accessories that you might add on to ensure they don't make contact with the vehicle. All in all, if you're looking to add a hitch to the back of your Kia Carnival, you really can't go wrong with the eTrailer option. As far as the install goes, it's super simple. It's just a matter of taking a plastic panel, getting it out of the way, and lifting the hitch up, so you might need an extra set of hands. But other than that, it's pretty simple. If it's not something that you think you can do yourself, maybe you don't have the time, the space, or the tools to do so, feel free to check out our dealer locator. However, if you are looking to install this yourself, feel free to follow along and I'll show you how we got ours set up. We'll begin our installation under the vehicle. We have a plastic panel that we need to remove. So just take a trim tool or a flathead screwdriver and get all these pins popped out. Just pop the center out and the entire thing should come out. We'll just work our way around. There's quite a few of them. Now we need to lower down our exhaust, so we have a few rubber hangers to drop down, but before we do that, it's a good idea to have something to support the exhaust so you can control it as it comes down. I'm using a cam strap. You could also use a jack stand or something like that. But we'll just come in, and I sprayed this down with some white lithium just to make it slide a little better. You could also use some soapy water or whatever you have on hand. Try to get in there and give it a good pry. This one was kind of fighting me, so I got an exhaust hanger tool. If you have one, definitely makes things easier. It should at least get us started on this. All right, once we have that one removed, we have a little bit of play, but we could get some more if we pop this one back here off. Now we can lower our cam strap just a little bit. That's good. Now we just need to prepare our weld nuts. Ours are pretty clean because the car is almost brand new, but a few years down the line, you might get some corrosion in there. So just run a wire brush in there to clean it out. Then I like to take our hardware, thread it in and out a few times. I just like to thread it in and out until it's nice and smooth. That way when we have the hitch above our head, we don't have to worry about getting those threads right. So I'll just go through all the holes on this side and then same thing on the other side. Now it's a good idea to have an extra set of hands. I have my friend John here to help me out. So we'll just lift this up into place. You're gonna wanna make sure that you get the exhaust kind of looped in between, and then lift the exhaust up with the hitch. with our bolt and our conical tooth washer facing towards the hitch, we'll get one started on each side. Now with all of our hardware into place, we will just take a 19mm socket and snug them all down. On this side with the exhaust, it's going to be a little more difficult, so you'll just have to find a way to get your socket on there. Now we'll take our torque wrench and get these torqued down to the specification listed in the instructions. If you don't have your own torque wrench, we do have them available here at eTrailer, or you can get one from your local auto parts store and rent it. So I'll just go through all 6 bolts and get them torqued down. Now we just need to reinstall our exhaust by lifting it up and reinstalling the hangers. And for that plastic trim piece here, you could just leave it off, but we are going to cut ours to put it up there just to protect those wiring harnesses that are up there. So in a second I'll show you how to do that. So the instructions have a diagram where you cut out a big chunk of this here. I think we don't have to cut out quite that much. So I just kind of mocked it up a bit and just roughly marked it. So I'm going to cut down here so that we can get it to go up there, and then hopefully slide the last bit under the hitch, and I'll grab a pair of tin snips and get to cutting it. So I really just cut a little bit at a time, kept test fitting it, so I didn't want to cut too much off of it. But you'll see, I just kind of slid this end up above our hitch, and now our holes are all lining up, so we'll get those push pin fasteners reinstalled. With that panel installed, that's going to do it for our look at and installation of the eTrailer Class III Hitch on our 2025 Kia Carnival Hybrid.